there for Talk to Me Tuesday on August 9th, 2022. I don't have much in the way of craftiness to show you, although I did get a couple more sample blocks made for my next rendition of my Learn to Paper Piece class, for which I'm adding a second block option. So I did, the original one I was using was called Crazy Pinwheel, and it was a 5-inch block that when you put it into a 4-block setting, you could create this wonky looking pinwheel. And that has been successful, but I have had students in each one of the classes I've taught say how much they loved the lobster stew block that was also in that book, because it looks like a great block to use for scraps. So I did a couple of scrappy samples of the block, and I'll insert a picture of those at the end. It's a weird name for a block, I know, lobster stew, but it's essentially sort of a square within a square within a square with a kind of a skew to it. So it's also a great option if you have small scale novelty prints that you want to fussy cut and put in the center square. And there's 17, not segments, but there's 17 pieces of fabric in each block, in each 5-inch block, which is a lot. And that's one of the reasons I didn't originally use it in the class, but there's been so much interest in it that I've decided to give them the choice. They can do either block. They just have to make sure they bring copies of whichever of the two they want to do. So I'll put pictures of that at the end. One is Christmas, one is just scrappy brights with white. Other than that, I've been shopping. I went to Hip Stitch with my daughter because she wanted to learn how to do some basic sewing. And so we were going to start with pillowcases. We haven't actually been able to coordinate our schedules to do that, and she's going to be moving out into a campus apartment in a little over a week and a half-ish, less than 2 weeks. And at the end of this week, I'm going to be leaving town for a week. So I offered to just go ahead and sew these. This is the fabric that she chose. And I offered to go ahead and just sew these, and then maybe over Thanksgiving or winter break, we could revisit the Learn to Sew stuff. So this is the first one. She chose this, which is a groovy, I think it's a cape actually. It is fabric. And she wants it paired with this, which is a geode from Hoffman Spectrum print. They have a whole line of these cool geodes, and this is one of those fabrics, one of the coordinates. And then the other one is from the Dear Stella collection we got in at the shop. These fun mushrooms and fairies. I think Fae is the collection. Dear Stella Fae, I think. So either today or tomorrow I'm going to try to get pillowcases made from those fabrics for her to take with her when she moves into her new joint. And then I also Hip Stitch commissioned a local artist who has a little shop in Old Town and does a lot of designing. It's called Desert Bird Mercantile. They had some of her designs printed on top quality fabrics by Paintbrush in Kansas City. They're the ones that do paintbrush solids, painter's palette solids, sorry, paintbrush fabrics. And they're so soft. And there were 2 prints in particular. There's a whole bunch of really cool prints. These are exclusive to Hip Stitch. You can't get them anywhere else. But my 2 favorites are this one, which is Cactus. I can't remember what it's actually called. And then this Roadrunner print. So we've gone through, I don't know how many reprintings of this fabric, It just keeps flying off the shelves. We finally had enough sitting around when I was actually in the shop not working that I managed to grab a couple of half yards of this. So, so yeah. Do I have plans for that? No. I just really love it. And I really hope that the owners continue to do this because it's been a huge hit. You know, I would love to have more stuff like this in the shop and less of the stuff that you can get all over the country, you know. I also accidentally bought these crazy quilt paper. My brain, they were right next to where the foundation piecing rulers and stuff were, like the add a quarter. And my brain looked at this and thought, oh, hey, that's a foundation pieced crazy quilt pattern. No, it's not. Not really. But I'm going to try it anyway. So with some 10-inch squares, you actually, it's like freezer paper, but it's marked where to cut, and then there's instructions on how you sew the pieces together. And you basically fuse each one of these to a 10-inch square like it comes in a layer cake, and then you cut on these lines, and then you reassemble them together, taking one from each different print, so that you end up with, you'd use 5 different fabrics, and then you end up with a crazy quilt piece. So I'm going to try it. It'll be fun. I'll probably do it with some of my Linus fabrics just to try it out because I bought it and I'm too lazy to return it. And then you may remember this quilt. I don't think I've ever shown the whole quilt, but this is the one I made for my nephew Joel. I still need to quilt it, and I had purchased more of this grunge Seeing Stars in black to do the back, but we got this wide back in at the shop that had so many of the colors that are in this quilt top. This is what all the flying geese were for, was for this panel quilt. And you can't even really see it, but anyway, I found, we got this stuff in stock at the store, and it has all of the colors that are in that quilt top, plus some purple. Isn't this gorgeous? So I decided I really needed to use that for the back instead, and then I didn't need to piece the back, and I will have no problem using the black grunge with the gold stars. That will find a use. I have 4 yards of it, so I will definitely find a use for it. But this is called, in case you want to know, this whole line is really cool, and we carry it in regular, there's different colorways in just regular with the fabric, 45-inch, 44-inch with the fabric. It's by Dan Morris Design. I think it's for QT Fabrics, Quilting Treasures. But it's called Origins. And they come in a bunch of different colorways. There's like a really gorgeous purple one, and they're just really cool. And they're such fantastic blenders. So I've been eyeing them ever since I started working at the shop. And when I saw we got this wide back in, I pounced. So because I knew it would sell out. So yeah, that is what I've been up to, basically spending my paycheck. I'm in that mode before you go out of town where you're kind of frantically just trying to stay busy so that you don't get too antsy. So that's another good reason to make these pillowcases. So I'm going to end this video and I'm going to get started on those once I get this uploaded. I look forward to watching your videos. I'm going to be out of town for about a week, so I don't know if I'll have a chance to like record something maybe with the pillowcases and then schedule it to run for next Tuesday. So I may or may not make a video, post a video next week. We shall see. I look forward to watching all your videos, and I will see you, if not next week, then the one after that. Bye!